example in the match we're in right now. A lot of people, their first tournament, their first match, they say, you know what, we're going to go T-side, we're going to go aggressive, we just want to go straight on and get ourselves warmed up, use that T-side to warm up, and then CT go out strong. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, pistol underway, and immediately I'm seeing a molly from JKS. Let's see where he's going to go with it. It's going to be a quick stack straight away. I want to get to Azza. Azza, by the way, is his name we're going to go with here. Not AZR. I've had a good chat with him. He didn't really care, but he said Azza's whatever all the team call me. So from now on, here on out, he will be known as Azza. It's kind of like the whole Zipex scenario going on there. But Sponge is going to be covering off. They're triple stacked over on B side, so it looks like they're expecting this one.
It does indeed. I wonder if this is a matter of watching demos and studying the opponent, but they are very prepared for this rush. But nevertheless, if they get the first right here, I'm really concerned about Renegades.
Oh, immediately. Oh, wow! Well, I didn't even get a chance to switch over to JKS. That was an absolute whitewash of a pistol round. Not a single kill for NeckBREAK. That is going to hurt their economy early, and getting a team
well, they had a kill, but it wasn't
round.
Their teammates.
It's not what you want for midfield. Midfield, by the way, the entry fragger.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he is.
I'm just going to say that this obviously looked extremely one-sided, and it was a favorable situation for Renegade, but this could have very much gone the other way around in the same speed, you know? Like, if the Indian team would have had the entry frag there, the bomb site would have collapsed, and they would have won the round. But now that didn't really happen, so they had a very poor start.
Pretty sure JKS just put quite a few bullets in the back of his ass there. Doesn't matter, will be a quick round. They just get the MP7 kills. MP7 definitely rose to dominance just after Katowice, wasn't it? They had the patch change where basically the Tech 9 fell out of form, which your boys were very prolific on. And we're back into the MP7 territory.
Yeah, so looking at this matchup in advance, you would really think that NeckBREAK here would require a great start to have a chance against Renegade, but that didn't really happen. So I'm already quite concerned about NeckBREAK.
All right, rifle round. That's the three out the way. We're on 1.6 territory right now. The first three gone. Now let's see what the rifles can do. And the problem is for NeckBREAK, the fact that they haven't really got any kills, they haven't really got anything in those first three rounds. You can see just 2 kills for A-Star. Not a great deal for them. It does mean, sadly, that they haven't been able to do anything. A little bit of lag spike there. I was a little concerned for a moment, but it does mean they're going to be struggling. They haven't got a great deal of utility coming into this round. And again, Azza, look at the aggression. Jumping straight round, pushing down Banana. Just get a glimpse on Machine Gun, but Machine Gun will respond. And maybe, just maybe, they can start getting something together.
So even if that looked quite sloppy from Acer's end there, it's still the right play, I think, going aggressive when you had 3-0 start and you are the better team and you're expected to win the game. You're just trying to, keep the momentum up and dictate the game. Now we have an interesting 4-on-4 situation here, but a completely stacking bomb spot B from Renegade.
They managed to catch him down. That's everything cut out down in Banana. They've left Yamal on his own. Didn't take the shot, or did we just miss the shot? Not too sure. He didn't take it either way. But the grenade will land square on the back of them, and he's lined up that perfect shot. But again, not taking it. It's just JKS and Havoc, the two remaining, and I think
we have some issues, to be very honest.
I think GoTV's definitely having issues. I'm thinking there's no way he didn't take that shot. GoTV is saying no.
Even if I'm quite old, I would have actually taken that shot myself. So I think this server issues or similar.
It's a server, okay. I've been told server issue, so I can see the players are all having a chat. So clearly, round is going to be over. So actually, that will be NeckBREAK picking that one up, but I can see immediately that Cartman's springing into action. So something's going to get sorted out here. But while that's triggered, what are we seeing from the opening couple of rounds? Obviously, that one's a tricky one to read, and the first ones as well. But you know, NeckBREAK do finally get themselves around on the board. It was an A push. It was far from convincing, but I think Renegades almost overconfidently over-rotated.
Yeah, but I do wonder here. We have a pause, and I wonder if they're gonna get the round they just won, because
that's a good point. Yeah, whether they're gonna.
I would expect that round to be replayed. The server issue started at a 4-on-4 situation, which could have gone either way. And NeckBREAK, they won it easier than they possibly could if they would be fair conditions. Particularly, it seems like the Australians were the ones that suffered from the server problem.
I can see Chad walking past now, so Sponge is certainly not in game, so they're going to go discuss and see what exactly is going on to speak to the server admin. So while they try and figure things out, let's talk about some things closer to home, because obviously you've been around the scene for a very long time, seeing teams changing, chopping, changing. You know what I'm going to point towards? I'm going to talk about Envy. What do you feel is obviously going on there? And you know, obviously when teams are going through these contract negotiations to obviously pick up, you know, new players, which yourself would have gone through, how hard is it to say we want your star player?
I think it depends on manufacturers, but in general, obviously, a contract dictates what's possible or not, and it's going to be down to whether the other organization is open and interested in a transfer. Now, in this very situation, I choose to be told here, I do not have any crazy insights. But I think the fact that there's been rumors, on top of that, they have now rejected a few tournaments, kind of last-minute cancellations. So surely heads will fly from which team that would be. I mean, it would be envious. A few players will probably not play there anymore, but from where they will, you know, draft new players. Maybe Titan. So yeah, maybe this is the moment where Kenny S comes back and play with a few of his previous teammates.
Yeah.
That he used to have a lot of success with together with Very Games.
Yeah, it was obviously, you know, they called it the French Revolution last time around when they had the team shuffle. It's not the first time it's happened. Probably won't be the last either. But basically, yeah, we were obviously wondering whether the likes of Titan and Envy, whether they basically switch. Because obviously, there's talks of Shops and Smiths, they need to be going elsewhere as well.
Yeah. We also have to bear in mind that they can only change 2 players per team, unless they're obviously open to be kicked out from the next major.
Well, I mean, effectively, they could give Titan their major spot, which I don't think is going to happen. Maybe that's what Titan is saying. It's like, you know what? Give us one more. Send Happy this way. We'll take him, yeah. But obviously, that's more closer to home. Let's talk about Fnatic for a moment. Obviously, you guys are still flying high. Just won the Pro League, all looking very well, despite the incredibly hot conditions that we had there. Obviously, they're at Face It right now in DreamHack. All still going wonderful for you guys with the major just a month away?
I would say, but I guess similar to Renegade, the traveling is starting to take its toll.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of deserves and needs some time off as well, and with a more or less of a back-to-back schedule with weekly on-site events, I think it's not only getting very frustrating to be away from your family and such, I also think it's kind of detrimental for your own game. Just sticking to the same patterns, you're playing the same style, because you do have very limited amount of time to practice. Looking back a few years, teams came with so much more innovation, and I also think the map pool was more, I mean, it's the same amount of maps in the pool, but maps was played more, and there was more interesting things to see, different boosts, without mentioning any specific boost. But yeah, in general, I like to see a more structured Counter-Strike and a little bit less diluted, diluted scene, because it's kind of the same thing when you see Fnatic playing NIP, let's say 3 times a month. You know, it should be kind of like maybe the Premier League is a good example.
Match,
like have those kind of clashes of titans a few times a year tops, and they meet in the major finals. That's kind of what I think long term is going to be interesting, and you know, feed the community and make it into a long term thing.
Yeah.
But all in all, like, it could be worse, to say to be fair. I mean, the teams are doing really well. They are now in the playoffs of Face It after squeezing out NIP. I think it was 2-0, 16-14, 16-14, so it was obviously very tough. But yeah, other than that, they probably need a few weeks off, and you know, ramping up the preparations for the next major. Hopefully, could be our third major victory.
I think that's something that's obviously, I remember NIP talking about it at the time when Train came out, basically, because it started in May. I think Train was announced as the new map, and basically every team was just going into it in tournaments, either offline or online, and basically saying, you know what, we haven't even played it. I know for a fact Fnatic's first official, that was the first time they'd really played it as a team, because you just don't get the chance to practice these maps, practice new strategies.
Tough, right? Yeah.
Renegades themselves have said, you know, they haven't played CS for a week since they basically left Toronto. They did not have a chance to play a single match coming into this tournament. And this is something, and I obviously notice you guys are one of the teams that actually will pick and choose tournaments that you go into. Is that down to purely for the fact that you're like, guys, you will burn out, you need a break?
Yeah, it's in most cases I would say that we're given a bit of, not only a bit, but quite a lot of decision powers to the players. So telling them, okay, here's the schedule for the next quarter, which tournaments you want to play in, and how does this fit in your schedules.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go, where they feel energized and prepared going into tournaments, rather than, okay, hey, you need to be in XYZ city next week. You know, it's not the way to go with that oversaturated space that I think CS:GO right now is in. I'd rather see that there is a bigger room for tier 2 teams, semi-pros, to be able to qualify and kind of, you know, regain some exposure and experience, rather than having the top teams more or less harvesting the bigger tournaments. But I think that can very well change in the future. There are more organizations coming up. It's more money being put into the teams. So, I mean, Renegade is the latest example. But yeah, CS:GO, it could be at the worst position than it is right now. I'm super excited. I just think we need to kind of not necessarily de-accelerate a bit, but taking a bit more control and make sure that the games are super interesting to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure. Also, I'd like to see the formats of tournaments pretty much the same, standardized effectively, because it's different across the board. And obviously, I'm not just talking from an ESL perspective. I'm talking from a global perspective. I just want to see the same old thing, because every time I turn up to a tournament, I'm like, right, okay, what format is this one? What's going on? Is it a best of 3? Is it a best of 1? Is it a best of 2? Is it GSL? Is it anything going on?
I mean, indeed, we have now at least united around the map pool, which is kind of the first step. I think, yes, the next step would be streamlining the format, or at least making it extremely clear what format is played. Because I'm even sure this goes into the players maybe coming here. Someone, okay, is it going to be best of 3? They don't really know, because it's just too much to keep track of, and there's no standardization going on. But if you ask me in terms of that, let's say we have a 8 teams tournament, I would like to see the GSL style format. Best of 1s until you have elimination games. That's kind of how I would like to see it. So best of 3s in the loser match, and then also the final spot in the playoffs should also be a best of 3 decider, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a server issue, so we are going to go to a quick break. Obviously, while we're trying to figure out what is going on between NeckBREAK and Renegades. Until then, we will be right back. You can see it is 3-0, so that last round was indeed rescinded. And we'll figure out what is going on once the match resumes. We'll be back in a few moments.
Now listen to this. Bad boy. Funky time.
Come on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL One Qualifier. It is the Asia Offline Qualifiers, and I'm joined by Khan. We are finally back. First off, I want to start things off. You saw on the scoreboard there, it is 3-0, the server rollback. Renegades basically couldn't move during that, so there was an issue.
Quite tricky to play that round. They planted the bomb in A and they couldn't move.
Yeah, so
ended up saving it, and it also turned into some discussion what should happen with that round. But from my perspective, I think it's extremely fair that this round is replayed.
Yes. So as you can see, we're back at 3-0, we're back at the rifle round, and this is the first big round for NeckBREAK, so right at the start. Now I wonder, because it did start at 4 apiece, so I wonder if we're going to get CS/kill from any of them, but I think we're just going to go straight into it. Match is paused by the admin still, so we're just waiting for the teams to get themselves good to go. They've had a good discussion by it. There's Sponge saying on pause for Renegades, just waiting for NeckBREAK to ready up and go, and we'll be live. What are we thinking on this one? Because obviously, you know, disruptions cause problems for players and teams.
I think Acer will struggle to justify another aggression in Banana, you know. He tried to do that to capitalize on the pistol round and the double anti-eco rounds they won. Now we're probably powered by Yam's AWP. I think we're going to see a way more passive Renegade here going into round number 4. But let's see, it's a game of poker in the end of the day.
Almost forgot that I was doing the map. I need to spectate this game, so let's see how it goes. Okay, immediately we do see a lot more passive. Aza going to slow things down. He's going to deep smoke here, and they are actually going to push up as a duo. This is something we've seen pretty much commonly. But normally you wait for the teams, obviously they'll go for that deep, aggressive hold when you've got a bit of better economy, not in round 4. So we'll see whether it works out, but Apartments is where they're pushing.
Probably a great mixture of jet lag and confidence that's, makes them being that aggressive as they are, but yeah. So NeckBREAK here is approaching A.
Manan showed himself a little too much for Sponge there. Gets an easy kill, that's the opener they needed, which does give the information that it's possibly an A hit. Sponge not managed to land the frag this time around though, gets tanked down. Luckily for him, he didn't get taken out. It does mean he's going to get support. Yam just around the side. He's also got Aza doing the damage, getting the spray down. A-Star at the top of mid, and already this is problems for NeckBREAK, but they managed to get themselves a double straight away, make that a triple for Machine. Fantastic stuff. We're going to see who's the final guy. It's going to be Mythilf, and that's actually left them in a 2-on-1 situation with just 6 and 10 health. Havoc's already found Mythilf, and this is going to be real hard. Havoc's in a great position in the pit. Should be an easy hold for him in the end there, and he will manage to find the last guy. So Renegades do hold it 4-0 and get revenge on the round that was never to be.
Indeed. Quite surprised about the peaks NeckBREAK tried. Because CSGO is very much about, you know, counter-fragging. As soon as your teammate goes down, you need to be there and counter that frag to reduce it to a 4-on-4, 3-on-3, etc. Eventually planting the bomb. But that looked very much unorganized. No sync whatsoever.
JKS does manage to find himself a couple sponges while that's straight down mid. The aggression coming out. Look at this. Yam with the MP7 just going full on hard aggression. Straight down mid, trying to pick up as much as he could, but it's Sponge that comes out with a triple. And that was expected. They knew NeckBREAK was going to have to eco with that, and that's Navi-esque right there. You know, once they know they're on an eco, they'll just run straight down mid.
Yeah, I think it's the way to go as well when you're playing against a team that is probably way more nervous and has more to prove than yourself. So as soon as you get a head start, which Renegades did, just capitalizing on that, being aggressive, building up the economy, and, you know, going crazy essentially. Jam going back to AWP, thinks that's a fair decision considering he was running on an SMG, which again, I think it's very much the right choice, knowing you're playing against a eco. You can add up a little bit more economy rather than gambling another AWP at that point. So yeah, great decision from Jam and Renegades here. Moving into round number 6, and I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, we have another pause.
Yeah, they're just on pause. They just had a little sound issue there. They've already on pause, so Havoc saying they're good to go. NeckBREAK on your screens there. Pressure on them. How are they going to perform? How are they going to deliver?
I love the hat, by the way, from the coach of NeckBREAK. Is that Bowser from Mario?
Bowser, you know what it is.
I know.
League of Legends team, Fnatic doing a fantastic job. But here we are in CSGO. And it's going to be Yam that will open things up. Feigns A-Star the second he points out And immediately that's going to cause problems. Looking once again at the deep aggression, JKS smokes down there. That grenade actually is going to be on point as well. They're going to go for the double stack. See if JKS is just going to go for the shot. Yes, he will. Expects the boost.
Great game sense from the JKS.
It's something we see Freiburg actually. I remember, I'm not sure, maybe a bit against Fnatic actually. I remember him taking just pot shots, just expecting the boost and finding kills constantly.
Mouse lead.
Immediately they are taking a little peek. That's going to be Asia getting one, getting two, Havoc got the other. This is essentially fairly straightforward by Renegades, just the one man standing for NeckBREAK. It is going to be Machine Gun. He will get one down. JKS now, if only he had the bomb with him, he could have made a quick break straight up to B, but instead the bomb's already made its way up to mid, and Havoc picks himself up an easy triple.
Yeah. Quite often you speak about textbook Counter-Strike, how that should be played, and I think that NeckBREAK, they haven't really read that book, so to speak. It's very much soloing it mid, trying to take the duel, trying to find an opening, but again, going back to what I said a few rounds ago, it's very much about countering the frags and refragging, closing the rounds into more of a 4-on-4, 3-on-3 situation. So yeah, they're going pure skill here. I think, to be honest with you, I think they are like fairly equal aim and game physics and movement-wise, but when it comes to team play, game sense, I think they're very far away from Renegades, at least at this very beginning of this map.
And Renegades using their confidence coming into this one. They've played against the likes of Fnatic, TSM, NIP. They're very experienced. And rightly so. It's something we talk about, you know, you have to respect your opponent, but you have to always realize we are a much higher team than these, so therefore we should just be in their faces, and that's exactly what they're doing. You can see it. It is just going to be Havoc going for the final peek against Ritz. They know where he is. They're going to close his position down. It looks like they're going to jump out of balcony, and yeah, he's completely pinned right now. They're going to come from every direction. Havoc will close him down. Very clean round from Renegades. 7-0, starting off very strong here.
Right, so yes, you really have to respect your opponents. At the same time, I think it's very much about evaluating your opponents as well. Like, what are they better than us at? And knowing that and being honest to yourself, if we do play these guys completely straight up, we will probably lose. So they have to find a way, kind of playing a little bit from behind in the first place and just finding small, like just straight up. I would say they have 20% winning it. But let's say they go crazy AWPing or rushing, maybe they increase their chances to maybe 40%, and that's the strategy to go. So I like to see from NeckBREAK now would be opening up a few T-AWPs. So rather than, you know, now like buying the auto pistol or just force buying all the time, maybe take a step back, maybe relax a bit and trying something differently, because what they're trying right now, kind of playing straight up against a very aggressive Renegades, it doesn't work. So they need to, you know, rethink the plan. And now we have another pause, and that's actually where a kind of a great leader and also the companionship of a team comes into play. Sit down, okay, we are 7-0 down, but we are T, we're still in the tournament, it's the very first map, and we still have the possibility to get 8 rounds. However, experience actually makes a difference here, and I wonder if NeckBREAK has enough of that. But all in all, what I want to say, I'd like to see them change their game now. If that's rushing or playing more defensively with some AWPs, I think that wouldn't be a horrible decision, to be honest. I think that's what they should try.
Well, I mean, the previous matchup we just saw, My Revenge, were 10-1 down on Inferno in this same situation. They had themselves a pause and obviously figured things out. They did pull it back to 10-5 and then had a great CT side. Now, I'm not saying the same will happen here because NeckBREAK are in a very different situation. They're up against the #1 seed in the tournament, so they definitely have it against them. They're probably, I'm trying to think whether they've ever faced them. I remember talking to Blair earlier on, and actually to Mitch, our Australian commentator who's joined ESL recently, is talking about how the Aussies really don't actually play any other Asian teams because basically Australia's on its own.
It's like a 10-hour flight away, and probably 400 ping away, so it's understandable. So that's why I recognize them as a Western team in that sense. Their strategies are adapted, and strategies that you're supposed to play against, be it Fnatic, NIP, C9, etc. So that's also why I thought I used the analogy 20% chance of winning against Renegades. That if they kind of, you know, change up the game and playing a game that Renegades aren't used to. And I can speak very much to that myself. playing Counter-Strike 1.6, I played a lot in Europe and America, but then when we traveled to China, and we got more or less demolished the very first times because they were equally skilled at us. I think we understood team play and those aspects better, and overall, I think our game sense were better, but they played a kind of Counter-Strike that we had little to match up against.
Just hadn't experienced the crazy aggression that they were used to.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, it's... there's a few phrases I want to use, but I'm not sure I can use them on air. But it's basically when you go into I don't know, sometimes you just go into a server and people are just playing like idiots, but it works. I can't think of a good phrase analogy that I can use on air, but that's the sort of crazy aggression that sometimes does work, but often against the top team it will maybe only work for 2 or 3 rounds until they figure you out. For Renegades though, 7-0 up in this one. They're going to be pretty confident. There's clearly a server issue once again by the looks of it. I can see the admin on the picture-in-picture there, so they're clearly trying to discuss what exactly is going on. Yam's having a great old time here as I keep it on him. I'll switch it off to elsewhere while we try and figure things out. But I want to talk about, teams when you are at the top. Obviously Renegades are at the top in Australia, Fnatic's in the top effectively in the world. NIP had this same issue. Obviously demos are available, POVs even available to an extent. How do you guys basically go about, teams completely counter strategy? You would expect most teams will be studying Fnatic right now, especially with the major approaching. You're the 2 times winner of majors. You've just gone and won every other tournament out there. So clearly people are going to be looking at the Chronaxis tactics and saying, we are going to do this against you.
There are definitely more material to review and more showcases to look at when going into those rematches against a team like Fnatic. But the truth is, and something we addressed earlier, teams actually do not have a lot of time to review their opponents or even reviewing their own game, practicing. That doesn't exist as much as it used to when there were fewer tournaments around, and that's why I think Counter-Strike Go right now it's very much about harmony, team play, communication, and being comfortable with each other. Because the skill level, like aim-wise, is kind of equal among the top, I would say. Surely Fnatic has found a good timing now. Their standard play and how they go into matches, they feel very comfortable. NIP had that maybe 1.5 or 2 years ago, and they not struggled since, but they struggled more than they used to back in the days. So maybe I think what some teams will really benefit from, surely changing a few players could help, but also getting a bit of time off, having a bit more distance to the game in terms of the preparations, the strategy, what are we trying, what should we try, etc. Those kind of theoretical exercises aren't happening as much as they should. The
boring parts, effectively, but they have to be
boring
done.
parts, but the stuff that, boring parts because it requires a lot of time and a lot of thinking and trying out, basically. Wow, they went to server.
Yeah, so what is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to go to a break because they are going to change a switch, apparently. You technical people will know exactly what that means, but they're going to try and fix some server issue, some network issue, whatever it is.
That we had no idea about.
No. So we are instead going to go to a break so we don't just keep on talking about the history that is Counter-Strike. We'll be back in a short while, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. It is Renegades up against NeckBREAK. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in there. They've done the switch, and the teams are unpausing and ready to go. So if you just joined us, this is the ESL One Qualifiers. We are in Asia, in Malaysia, to be specific, and this is the offline qualifiers, Renegades and NeckBREAK in Group B. We've already seen Group A go on. Immunity top the group. Skyred and My Revenge will be playing tomorrow in the elimination match. That will be first thing tomorrow morning, which will be around about 6 a.m. in Europe, so you guys
stay
probably
up or wake up early.
Probably won't be seeing that one, but this is the first match in Group B. It has been a few issues, but server side, and so they've managed to switch out. Hopefully things are sorted out. Renegades in a very dominant form here, looking to smash NeckBREAK, much to the despair of Blair, who is watching helplessly by.
Right. What just struck me now, watching their armory, is that a few of them decided to buy full Kevlar, which to me doesn't make much sense at all when you're down 7-0 and your team is is on an eco. We were speaking a few moments ago prior to break, and that would be to kind of change up their game and maybe introducing a few snipers into the T side. But they kind of like making that impossible by being greedy here. I think it could be an element of them want to capture the very first frag as well. Looking at the scoreboard, we have actually 3 out of the NeckBREAK players on 08. At least they upgraded from James Bond, right? 007. Yeah. But yeah, they didn't really have the start they want. So I guess their confidence is on a kind of record low right now.
They've not quite done Occasion B yet, which was I think it was 015, wasn't it? He got 2 in one of those matches, but despite being what many consider the best player in TSM, actually.
Yeah, it can happen to anyone, of course, but it's a kind of a bad sign where 3 of your players haven't entered the scoreboard after, more than half of the first half here, essentially, 8-0.
Oh, this grenade.
So that needs to change. We do actually have a sniper now from A-Star. Let's see if he can make any damage with that. I think he needs to go on peeking here, which they tried before with AK, so maybe Renegades wouldn't anticipate the sniper now. He revealed that sniper just a moment ago when I said it.
And the deep smoke is causing problems for them. It's JKS that's up close and personal. Just down the side there. They're hoping they can catch him off, but Yam manages to get the first man. There we are. Going to see Manan getting out. He was one of the people looking for his first frag. And there it is. Managed to jump down in pit. Can he make it a second? Yes, he can. Manan starting to do some work here. If he can get Yam down the side, he cannot. Havoc does manage to rotate, but this is going to be a bomb plant, the first for NeckBREAK. Machine Gun's gone full on aggression, actually, trying to catch Havoc out up close and personal. Not going to win the spray down war. And now it's all on A-Star. Can he keep his team in it? Oh, he's going to get flashed out. Not going to land the shot onto Havoc. And that will be Renegades closing out. So close, but they got the plant down. That's going to give them the money they possibly need to keep on buying back in there. But it's 9-0 now for Renegades.
I love your positiveness there, but yeah, looking at that round, B was empty, they knew that. Instead of just planting it and utilizing the AWP, one of the guys from NeckBREAK decided to go aggressive. And I wonder why. Both of them had plenty of health. They could utilize the sniper once again, and he could have just lurked in, construction or taking a more passive position. But yeah, again,
look at
the inexperience, it kind of shines through.
I mean, how often does the AWPer just basically stare down mid? You're in matchmaking right now. He's
or in 1.6.
No care. So in 1.6, yeah. Well, Yam doesn't actually manage to land the first one, but he does the second chance. And he's just got that much confidence that they don't need to worry about anybody peeking straight back at them. Aza, meanwhile, he's picked up 1 down banana. There's just 2 remaining. Make it 1. It is just going to be Ritz, the last man standing. Does manage to get Aza down. The kill's a kill at the end of the day, but This is all going Renegades' way.
To be fair, I think the only round where NeckBREAK has actually played as a team was the pistol round. They did a timed execution towards B. Obviously it didn't go that well. One guy accidentally team killed, but that was actually one time where they stuck together and tried to do something together. And I want to emphasize that I think Counter-Strike Go, FPS team-based games in general, is very much about working as a group, having team play, communicating with each other. Now it's very much a individual sports from NeckBREAK here.
And that's something that Renegades are lapping up at 10-0. It is looking like it's going to be a push on top. Oh, if JKS goes for a couple of the bits of spray, doesn't actually choose to go for the standard spot, which is why Machine Gun manages to catch him out there. Now they know that one guy is down in B, yet looking at the minimap, we can tell the situation they had. Asia and Sponge desperately rotating around. This has actually caused a problem for Renegades. The question is, can NeckBREAK capitalize on it? Which way are they going to go? It is going to be a slow crawl up into B, but Sponge is going to flash himself out here. As soon as he hears a footstep, anything, I'm going to look at Asia. Asia's going to flash him in. So it's going to be Sponge that will peek around the corner. Yam's already picked one up. That was down mid, so they've got full vision down mid. They know there's nothing down mid. Look at this. Sponge is going to flash himself out. As soon as he hears that flash, pop out, turns around, gets down. A-star took him a little longer than he anticipated, but it's still damage done. Pops around, and Asia and Sponge deal with NeckBREAK with ease there.
I'm a little bit puzzled why Machine Gun decided to go up middle when his teammates weren't really ready to attack B, because essentially it was a great idea to get one guy up in mid and trying to just, you know, make the opponent rotate. Instead, he died. Renegades got endless of vision in middle, so they could really anticipate and plan for the approaching attack towards bomb spot B, and they got completely shut down. So a little bit off timing there again.
This is something they're doing. Now finally it's going to be a fast push. They managed to take down Yam quick and easy there. We saw it with his scope, didn't have any vision, but the rotate's already coming around. They've got to be careful. There's one man coming behind them. Havoc's keeping them at bay here. Sponge has managed to pick up one. Havoc hops up and over, and straight continues. He's just going to run through the entire team, picks himself up an easy triple. Can he make it 4? Doesn't matter. JKS cleans up. And well, NeckBREAK, you saw, damage was done there. They managed to get 2-3 down and almost in on sight. So definitely improvements coming from NeckBREAK, but at 12-0, you got to think it's a little too late.
I think how that round could have been cured and eventually successful for NeckBREAK would be to not stop when they got the first frags. Just continue rush, even if you're flashed. Just think about your teammates coming behind you. He's not going to be, he might not be flashed, and you might be able to refrag and get the bomb planted. Now they just stalled, and the Renegades were able to successfully rotate, making it impossible for NeckBREAK to get into bomb spot A. So again, it's a tactical failure rather than anything else.
Not back and forth, it continues. Mythilth with the Galil, just hoping they can find an angle. It's Aza that's pushed once again deep down there, smoke deep. They've got all the money in the world, so they can afford to be as aggressive as they like at 12-0. Nothing has really stalled them out. And if they're not careful, if they don't deal with Aza, I've got a feeling he's actually going to push around the back of them. NeckBREAK have already gone one man down as Yam once again opens his account. He has been taken down. That was in around the side that Sponge does manage to pop around. They know they're on the rotates here. I'm going to look towards the man in pit. It is going to be Havoc. He gets himself a double. Couldn't quite make the triple, but damage was done once again. Full control for Renegades. Knew exactly where NeckBREAK were going.
Indeed. And yeah, nice aim technique from Havoc there. He just kind of isolated into one-on-one duels because he actually had multiple targets there. He took a little bit of a strafe to the left and yeah, eliminated one more guy before he went down. So he eventually sealed the deal there for Renegades. 13-0. It's starting to look like tennis. I thought Wimbledon is over.
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't an Australian that came out on top in that one, but the Swiss didn't either. It was, I'm trying to think what nationality.
Novak Djokovic.
Yeah,
Serb.
Djokovic, is he Czech?
Serb.
Serbian. Yes, that is the one. Anyway, tennis aside, it is 13-love. NeckBREAK, not even at the races in this one. 2 men remain, A-Star and Ritson already down to a very low health, and JKS, Aza, whoever's down, in the banana has been doing a fantastic job. They're just picking him off from range right now. Ritz is the last man standing. Already smoked off. Through the smoke there, Asia as well. 14-0. Virtus Pro are going to be thinking somebody can take the heat off us.
Yeah. So I just want to on the record say that even that there is a astronomically difference between the rounds, 14-0 and potentially even 16-0, it's not as bad as it looks. It's not like when you think about how good they are in relation to each other, it's not like a multiplier of Renegades being 10 times better. It's not the case. We saw Kingwin beating Virtus Pro 16-0 just a few days ago. And then we talk about two teams that are fairly equal.
Absolutely.
So it is possible. Surely, I'm not saying that NeckBREAK is anywhere close to Renegades for the time being, but I think they have, yeah, in certain moments of their game, they have showed some individual skill at least, and that's obviously the basis to build from. But team play, communication, execution, adaptation, that has been not very good.
Yes. I mean, in Virtus Pro case, it was the third map, I think, in a best of 3 that it actually happened in. But you can see across the board, it's not exactly plain sailing. Mifilth at least got the 1 in there. But I think if you add it all together, I'm pretty sure Havoc's got more than everyone.
Havoc almost had a perfect game there. He had 1 death.
Oh, wow, yes.
Yeah. It's not often you see people
21-3-1.
so few deaths.
I think that's only because he went aggressive as well around the side at one of those rounds. He's having fun, that's for sure. 15-0 pistol round. Let's see what NeckBREAK can do. Maybe they could do a 15-0. No, I'm not pushing for that. Optimism can only take me so far.
I'm happy to take that bet.
Yeah, exactly. Ritz trying to get a little peek there. I believe the in-game leader for NeckBREAK. He's got a hell of a lot to do. They have managed to get themselves the first. Ritz is going to find a beautiful second shot there. Chance shot as they came around the corner. They are actually going to get the bomb plant down as well. And it will be Yam and Aza coming around the side from the same direction. Yam manages to get 1 down. It's just Machine Gun standing between them. And a 16-0 perfect game. The 1-man in pit. With the bomb ticking. Machine Gun with nigh on an impossible task. He's only got a couple of kills in the entire game. Sadly, it doesn't look like it's going to be in his favor. Aza will get it. It's a 16-0 for Renegades. Plain sailing for the Aussies in game 1. Considering they'd not played Counter-Strike in the last 5 days, it didn't look too bad.
I think NeckBREAK simply needs to just remind themselves that they are still in the game. They need to brush this loss, horrible loss, of course, 16-0, brush it away and brush it off, sorry. And yeah, play the next game essentially, because they're still in it. They're playing, you know, definitely a considerably weaker team in the next match. But Renegades, damn, we talked about jet lag before. Seem to be very hungry.
Well, I mean, that's the sort of first group game you want, really, isn't it? Yeah. Obviously, server pauses aside. You know, you want a quick, easy, done and dusted game.
So why not 16-0?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, NeckBREAK had got smiles on their faces. I can see it across there. So they knew what they were up against. They knew it wasn't going to be easy. Up against, effectively, the #1 seed in the tournament. It seemed to work that way.
Yeah.
What do you think, looking at the Asian teams across the board, the 8 teams that are here, who would you favour to be the ones that will go through? Obviously, Immunity already in the semi-finals. Do you think it's going to be the 2 Aussies?
To be extremely fair with you, I have thus far only seen I have limited experience and insights into the Asian scene, and that's simply put because it hasn't been too much happening here. I'm surprised that NXL from Indonesia didn't make it out here. They lost in a qualifier, an online qualifier, of course. But yeah, to throw in a few names, let's see if the local crowd here can help bringing up the local team, the Malaysian team.
MVP, they're going to be up next, actually. They are the next match that we'll be playing out there. So MVP Kano, they're going to be up against Kiyu, the Chinese team that were at ESWC just the other week. Actually took a victory over LDLC White, so they're not a bad team overall. Because LDLC, you'd put them as probably, what, tier 3, tier 4 in Europe?
I mean, China, looking at China back in the days, it used to be a very relevant region in Counter-Strike. Tai Lu, WNV, Alex, Savage, and a bunch of other great players from back in the days maybe there's room for a revival in China in CS:GO.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess the future will tell.
Kiyu did actually beat Tyloo on the way here as well, so they're coming slowly but surely. The Chinese regions will be back. We're going to go to a break though, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we'll have an interview with Renegades. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Sponge, and I'll see what he's got to say. We'll see you in a few.